Dear devotees and friends, today, the Sunday, we will be studying the Yoga Vasishtha. The Guru is going on giving instruction on the Vedantic instruction to his disciple Sri Ramachandra. So, as usual, let us begin with this mantra. Dikaladi Anavachinna Ananta Chinmatra Murtaye Swanubhuti Ekamanaya Namah Shantaya Tejase. I salute the Supreme Brahman, the one who is beyond all qualities, who is tranquil and beyond all limitations, who is the embodiment of infinite consciousness and can be known only through one's own experience. Friends, as we all know that we are following the path of knowledge, the pure Vedanta, the Veda Anta. That means the Veda means knowledge, and Anta, the end. End knowledge is Atma Jnana, the knowing about the self, knowing the own self. That is the unique thing that has ever in the human society, in the human history we find. We try to know so many things. Constantly the astrologers, they are watching the sky and trying to understand the stars and planets and all that. They're going out, their mind is going out. But here we find that we are trying to understand ourselves. The last Sunday, we have heard the Guru, he was mentioning, Brahma eva asti nirantaram. Brahma eva asti nirantaram. That is the concluding statement of the Advaita Vedanta. There is only one Brahman and there is nothing else. So this is a very special type of statement, we should say. We see so many varieties. But at the same time here, the Vedanta, when he is saying that it is only one Brahman and nothing else, how it is possible? In this Prakarana, in this 9th Navama Prakarana, the Guru is introducing the self to the disciple. What is this self? And he is telling Yogina Sabadhanatyam Yat Tat Archana Atmana. The seekers of the truth, that is all yogi, understanding the futility of the worldly objects, Sabdhanatvam, carefully engage themselves in the thought of Brahman alone. Now, yogi, not everyone. So this we have to understand that this is a knowledge, like many other knowledges are there. This is a knowledge of oneness. Who can understand it? Who should try to perceive, to try to get that? Those who are ready. How will you know that they are ready? So they have understood the futility of this worldly life. How they have understood? By vichara. What is the vichara? What is the discrimination? That everything in this world are temporary. Everything's are going away. When the small kids are playing with the grandparents, they are so happy. But at the same time, then afterwards when they are growing up, they don't find those grandparents. Then one day they themselves become the grandparents. The whole thing is passing so fast, so quickly. It was only that we celebrated 2020. Now it is again, the December is approaching, and within 30 days we will be entering into another year, 2022. So 2019, 2020, 2021, we will all remember in the history, and God bless us that we don't like to remember the history of this COVID-19, the terrible, the pandemic that is going on. Now this constantly going on, changing and changing. If we can understand that, then we decide to go for the permanent. That is called yogi. That is called mumukshuta. That is called the effort to understand the truth. And that truth, which has been called by different names, sometimes Allah, sometimes God, sometimes Jehovah, sometimes Buddha, sometimes Ishvara, Bhagavan. So different names we are giving according to our language, but it is the same thing. Why we can say it is same? It is ever permanent. It never changes. The Allah of the Muslim will never change. God of the Christians will never change. Buddha of the Buddhist will never change. Ishvara or Bhagavan of the Hindus will never change. So like that way. But here we say, the Hindus, they say, one step ahead they go and say, Bhagavan may change, Ishwar may change, but not the Brahman. There's another philosophy, we can say, another realization, the realization of the oneness. What type of oneness? In the Islam also we find La ilaha illallah, that is God is, Allah is only one. How they explain that oneness? All inclusive? Or there are differences? But here the Brahman, when they say, we say the Brahman, it is only Brahma eva asti nirantaram. Brahma eva asti. Eva means only. Asti means existing. Nirantaram, eternally. What? Brahma. What is that Brahma? We will come to that discussion afterwards. And here we find the Guru, the Vasishtha, he is now concluding almost and giving the final teaching to the Sri Ramachandra, his disciple, and he is telling, Tasmin deha indriya adinam sangates purati swayaha ayamsa ahamiti bhava sajibo malaguntitaha. Chapter 9, first verse of the Yoga Vasishtha, it says, what is the jiva? O Rama, what is that jiva? What is that individual self? This individual self is nothing but this. In the association of the body and senses, a feeling of this is me, or this I am. So that automatically comes up. When we are mixing with the body and the mind and other limbs, so I am this, that I am, a feeling is coming, that I is jiva. So where from the feeling is coming, when the jiva feeling is coming, that I feeling is coming, when it is associating our body. When this body is associated and the feeling is I, that is consciousness. The body inert, but consciousness is completely different. How they are getting associated? So this is the beauty. This is the speciality of the Vedanta. Now these questions again and again the disciples are asking to the gurus and the students to the teachers. How you will explain that the consciousness is getting associated with completely inert thing? How it is possible? The truly I, which is covered with the impurities like cravings. Now it says the jiva, the conception of the jiva, conception of the individual self comes when? When it is, in the Sanskrit, it is called mala. Mala means impurities are there. What are the impurities? The impurities are nothing but the cravings. When the cravings are there, desires are there, that is the. So we have to remember, friends, when we are proceeding towards the knowledge, following the path of knowledge, And knowledge means the ultimate knowledge of Brahman, which is one and nothing else. But we are proceeding. Now I am using the word we. That means all pluralities are there, dualities are there, many, conception of many are there. And we all are going towards where? One. And when we reach over there, whether we will remain or all will be crashed and mixed and become one. So that is the questions, and we have to understand that. Whether all different type of people, different color, different language, different religion, different culture, and all we are proceeding, and then there is a crashing machine. We are all crashed and we come out as a different. No, it is nothing like that. So they use the word mala. Mala means is only the darts. We are all the same. Only because of that misconception, we are thinking that we are different. So this is called the Sanatana Dharma, the Hinduism, that gives us the feeling of oneness. We are all one. How we are one? Because in reality, we are all conscious beings. Apparently, we may be different because of the color and many other things. The differences are there. But in reality, we are one. How? The Guru will give us the example after example. Because this is the confusion always how it is possible that we can understand in the duality God is there, I am here, you are here, she is there, they are there, so many. So duality means all plural, all people are there, and God is one God. So we are going to the God. As the different children, the daughter and the son and the nephew, they are all going to one person. That is okay. But when we are discussing about the Advaita Vedanta, it says your object, where you are going, and you, and the knowledge by which you are applying to reach over there are all same. It's called Triputi Veda in Vedanta. Triputi Veda. Three means three, and it is just making one line. This we'll try to understand through the Guru Vasishtha, and the Guru is giving the example. Consciousness covered with craving is Jiva. Consciousness free from craving is Shiva. That is, Jiva is Shiva. This equation came from this. It is only consciousness. When it is covered with the cravings, with the desire, that means in the Sanskrit word mala, the dirts, then it is jiva. Jiva means individual self. Then the same consciousness, when it is free from that dirt, free from that craving, then it is the Supreme Lord Shiva. The consciousness is there. Only somehow it has been covered. What we have to do, only remove the cover. Then what will happen? Original thing will come. It is not like we are going to achieve something. No. In the duality we are achieving. We are meditating, we are taking the name of God, we are praying to God, we are worshipping God. All these work that we are doing to achieve something. And when we achieve, that is in the duality always they say that you go near to God, you become God is favorite. God will say, hey, he is my own, like that. So, Saruppo, Salukko, Sarujjo, like that it goes. But the Advaita Vedantin will say it is okay that we are going to God and it's a very wonderful place that we can understand. And the association of God, unthinkable, it must be very joyful. But whether it is constant, permanent or temporary, that is the question. They always go on asking this question, the Vedanta. And naturally, when there is two, the God is separate, I am separate, there will be the chances of misery. Why? The God is looking at him, but not to me. So, I am near God. Comparing with others, I am so lucky. I am living with God. But again, in that also, in the heaven also, jealousy may come. What type of jealousy? There are all stories are there because of the differentiations. The God is different, I am different. This is the thing. So if we can understand these, then that we will know no duality. We like to be one. Of course, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said there are some people, those who feel that they are nothing but God, but like to get separated, like the Narada and other munis, so that they can enjoy all these wonderful enactments of the God. That's called Leela, divine play. That is a different. But here it says, Vasishtha is teaching, telling us, holding the hand very tightly, he is taking us to the oneness. And he says, look, Sarvameva chidakasham brahmeti ghananishchaye sthitim yate shamam yati jiva nisneha deepavat. He is giving a wonderful example. So where you will go? You will go to merge into the original. Where else? Now, when we remove the dirt, clean the dirt, what we see? There was a mirror. But mirror was covered by the darts. So we go and stand before the mirror, but we can't see anything over there. Why? Because so much of darts were there. Now we go on cleaning. When we completely clean that mirror, what we see? Me only. I was there, but couldn't see because of the dirt. So that is called realization. That is called revelation. And that is Brahma Jnana, just knowledge. It's nothing achievement. Nothing we are going to get from outside. It is already there. Only we have to remove. How? It says, as a lamp dies out without oil, similarly individual self, jiva, also merges in Brahman when it becomes conformed, ghananishchaye, that this entire universe is nothing but pure consciousness. That is Brahman. Sarvam eva chidakasham. Chid akasham, that is the space of the knowledge, you can say. Brahma iti. Everything that we see, Brahma iti, this is only Brahman, is only consciousness. Ghananishchaye, when conform, there is no doubt. When there is doubt, that means no. You have not achieved. Any doubt, that means we have not achieved that. In other Upanishads also, when we will be reading the Kathopanishad, we will find that it is only no doubt will be there. Chiddante hridaya granthi viddante sarva shamshayaha. No shamshaya, no doubt will be there. Completely it will be clean from doubts. And then giving a wonderful example, suppose because the oil is there, the lamp is burning. And when the oil is not there, lamp is also not there, it is not burning. The Jivatma is, as long as we have the cravings, I want to get this, I want to get that. In Sanskrit it says Eshana. Eshana means Vasana. Vasana means desire. I want to get this, I want to get that, like this it goes on and on. And when ultimately it goes end up, then it is nothing. It's only you are there. We can remember when first that thought came, I like to become a monk, then excitement. Because we heard that there's a monk life is like this, like that. So then somehow we got the connection, and the one Swami told you can join, then there's an organization. So modern day organization, you have to fill up the forms and these, that. Everything was over, then they said, you are one of us. Then it's so joy. Then afterwards, oh no, we have to go to the training center. In the Ramakrishna Mission, not that all organizations are having the training center. Ramakrishna Mission is having what type of training? The monastic training, because we come from outside. We have different type of thoughts, different type of ideas, and the spirituality means we should constantly meditate, and 4 hours, 5 hours we are sitting one place. It is nothing like that. So the Ramakrishna Mission gives a holistic development, that you come and you do, and then just normal and full of joy. That is the goal. You should be always happy. In different situation will come. Different type of things will come. You have to face that and always try to be happy. How? Because you have to develop the detachment. When there is detachment, there is no problem. So this is the way we go on constantly. So when ultimately we got that, then what happened? We became the brahmachari, then shaving the head. That was also a celebration. Some of us, they got that opportunity to shave the head, so they became senior. We are not waiting for the day. All excitement. Why? Something we are going to achieve, something we are going to achieve, like that, it went on. Then ultimately that final day came in our life that we became the sannyasi. Our Guru gave us that mantra and we are very excited. Next morning, so many people, they are paying homage to and we felt that yes, they are looking at us and we are sannyasi. Then the years passed, days passed, and same, nothing left. You cannot go for again for the sannyasa. No, you are already a sannyasin. And nothing else. What then remain? To become the Brahman, to become one. So how that is possible when we are thinking in that way? In this world, there are so many things we have to. First you have to study, then you have to get a job, then you have to marry, then you have to purchase a car and a house and these, then ultimately after the retirement, when you see your son is in America, your daughter is in London, and you are in India, Calcutta, and it's the same old person alone, you were there. So many came and all they went away. You remain. And at the last deathbed, no one will go along with you. No one. It is only me. I came to this world and am living this world. Then what is the difference then? Difference is knowledge. And when I came, I was an ignorant person. I was not knowing who am I. So I associated myself with this body, with this, along with the body, ego, the I-ness. Though the I was not real, but I considered that as real. And then with that I, so many associations. I am a singer, I am a musician, I am this, I am that. The ego is going on like a balloon. It's going on. Then one day it should burst. And once again you become the air that was there inside the balloon, just a little pin touching that, and immediately you are becoming one with the outside air. It's just like that. It says, Jiva nisriha deepavat. When there is no oil, then as the deepa, as that lamp is just die, similarly we also go and merge with that Brahman. There may be doubt how all-pervading consciousness can be enveloped by the individual impurities and become Jiva. To answer that, in the 9th chapter, 3rd verse, the Vasishtha is telling, Ishvara jivattam angikarati. Ishvara, the Supreme Lord, through Maya, with his own power, that Maya, Jivattam, the individual self, angikarati, is just thinking that it is that individual self, that much. Through Maya, the pure self start thinking itself as an individual self. How the consciousness which is all-pervading became Jiva? Answer is in one line. It just imagined, that's all. Imagined. This is the word we have to remember. This is the most important point to consider. Why? The individual selves, there are, in plural, individual selves are there. To make this point clear to the disciple, Guru Vasishtha said, Asatyam eva sankalpa. Asatyam eva sankalpa. Asatyam means the unreal, and is the sankalpa means considered. It considered, though it is unreal, it considered it, Brahmena idam sharirakam jiva pashyati mudhatma. By mistake, as body, individual self sees by the ignorant. And then the giving a wonderful example, but every time they will give the example, they say, Balo yaksham idam uttitam. Balo, the child, sees the ghost, and the child is saying, why the child? Or even the senior people also see the ghost. What is this ghost? Imagination, and nothing else. As the child imagining a ghost, and similarly an ignorant person not knowing about the Brahman, about the consciousness, about that supreme being, the truth, and so many different words I just used, only to make that point clear that this is consciousness all-pervading, eternal. That is known as Brahman, that is known as Paramatma, that is known as Bhagavan, that is known in so many different ways. So that is there. Even then, by mistake, we are imagining that I am separate. And an example, as a child thinks a ghost which is not there, and child is crying because the ghost is there. The ghost is approaching. Ghost is a terrifying thing. Then somebody says, where is ghost? Show me. Then there was nothing. So we need Guru only to tell that. Don't be afraid. It is your imagination only. There is no ghost. The Guru will only do that. Guru is not giving something else. Guru is only removing your fear by giving you or showing you the light. That's all. When we see the light, we ourselves realize that it is nothing. I was so much afraid of a ghost, but it is only the shadow of a chair or a pillar or these or that. It is my imagination of the ghost. Advaita Vedanta considered this universe as mithya. A Sanskrit word mithya means imaginative, which is not there, but I am thinking it is there. That's called mithya. Usually literal meaning of satya and mithya will be different. The mithya means untruth. I have taken this thing. Then somebody asked me, have you taken that? No, I have not. Then if I say, we say that is mithya. Then in Indian language, mithya means, oh, false. You are telling the lies. But here the mithya means temporary. Here the mithya means imaginative. When we say in the scripture, the jagat, this universe, is mithya, that means it is not there. You are only imagining. The jagat mithya, Guru Vasishtha, an exponent of Advaita Vedanta, trying to clear this idea through different examples, one after another. He will go on giving the example. The conception of jivahood or the individual self is as false as the imagination of a ghost by a child. Jiva pashyati mudhatma. In Sanskrit, the most condemning word they could use, they could find, that is mudha. More than that they could not. They say this is the divine language, divine, naturally, the Deva Bhasa. So naturally they could not find any other the filthy words in Sanskrit, but when they are very angry, they will be telling mudha. Mudha jahi hi dhanagama trishnam, etc. This mudha. Mudha means a person who is having intellect, but he is not utilizing that intellect. That understanding is not clearing that. So he is a mudha. So jiva pashyati mudhatma, the one who is having intellect, but he is not properly utilizing that, that person, he sees the jivatma, individual self, a separation from the Supreme Self, as balo yakshamiva uttitam, as a child imagining a ghost. Then again the Guru Vasishtha, giving the example, is the 9th chapter, 5th verse. He says, as a child through his imagination play with a clay elephant, similarly an ignorant also acts differently, imposing the body on the self. When I was in Purulia, there was a school, a very famous school, and that time our in-charge Swamiji, Swami Umanandaji Maharaj, is no more, he passed away. So he was very fond of decorating with the different type of clay models, just to support the poor people who are making those. So he will be purchasing and keeping here and there. And he purchased a very big size, the clay elephant. Then the family came and they had a very small child. Oh my God, he was so naughty. And he suddenly saw that elephant. Then he called others also. Hey, there is elephant, let us go and climb on that. It was a clay elephant only. Then the Umanandaji, I can imagine that, and then that brings me another joy. The Umanandaji, again like a child, he also got up and then ran after the boy and said, no, you should not touch that, you should not touch that. All these things were happening. Why? Because that child, he imagined that that is an elephant and they can play with that elephant, they can touch the elephant, they can climb on that. All the imagination. So when I was reading these verses, I was remembering Swami Umanandaji and the Purulia days. So how here it says the child, through its imagination, just a doll, a clay doll, but it is thinking the elephant is moving this side, elephant is moving its trunk and all those things, all imagination. Similarly, adhyasya atmani deha adina mudha, the same way adhyasya atmani deha adina mudha, again the mudha, that person who is not intelligent enough, what he does, he on the consciousness is putting an imaginary body. So that is the difference. For the Advaita Vedantin, this body is nothing but the imagination. Friends, we can understand it's so difficult to grasp this idea this very moment. Why? Because we are living, we are breathing, we are talking. So all these things are happening, and now suddenly the Vasishtha says, this is all imagination. So this, if we can understand, then the Rishi will never call us Mudha. As long as we cannot imagine, understand that, realize that, we have to get the scolding from the Rishi Vasishtha. He will say, Mooda, you are a deluded person, you do not understand. It is only consciousness. Now let us continue. And it says in the 6th verse, Chitra sarpa pariggato na sarpo bhayado yatha jiva sarpa pariggato tatha dukkhe na dukkhada. So what is the dukkha? What is our suffering? Because we imagine, that is the dukkha. That is the suffering. Chitra sarpa parigyato. When we understand that this is nothing, the snake is nothing but a picture, a drawn, and that naturally the fear of a snake will go away. Similarly, when we will know that we are the eternal consciousness full of joy, so all this idea of suffering will go away. Jiva sarpa parigyatos tatha dukkhana dukkhada. The wrong imagination of a snake in a garland as vanishes in garland itself, similarly all dualistic conception also dissolved in Brahman. The 6th and 7th, side by side, the Rishi is telling, the Guru Vasishtha is telling why. First he said, when there is a picture of a snake, maybe you are afraid to see that. There are sometimes, I read in the newspaper that somewhere, the one person, he was wearing a t-shirt, at the back there was a picture of a snake, but that was so lively, so vivid. Another lady who was sitting at the back of that gentleman, she was so much afraid, because every time the eye is going and falling on the snake, and the terrible, of course, the picture that gave, that is really terrible. We should appreciate the painter because he vividly painted that, but that picture is so terrifying. The lady complained to the authority, and the airport authority came and requested the gentleman to change his shirt or cover something else on that. So even the Chitra Sarpa, even the snake painted on something, creating problem, fear in the mind of others. But in reality, that snake is not going to do any harm. But the fearful look, the terrible look of that picture, that creates the fear in the mind of some people. And why? Imagination. The snakes are terrible, they will bite and I will die, etc. etc. All imagination, we are imposing on that painting only. There is nothing, but still I am afraid. That the lady, they complained and they had to request the gentleman to cover that, the t-shirt. Now, the same way he says that you are only imagining. Now the question is, where the fear went? Where the snake went? The moment I saw the picture of the snake over there and I was so much afraid. Now it is not there. He put on another white shirt on that. Now it is not there. Where had that snake gone? Then it was just not there. It's gone into, then giving the example, someone was putting on the garland and someone said, hey, what you were doing? That is a snake. You were thinking by mistake as a decorative snake. That's so beautiful decorations are there on the snake. You are putting a snake as a garland. And that man will be afraid what will happen. But then afterwards, when someone brought the light, no, it is truly a different color, the garland, flower garland. So where the snake gone? In that garland only. It was not there, we imagine, and it vanishes in that garland. And same way, when we understand this world is completely illusory, completely imaginative, no duality is there, where it will go? That is the question. So the Guru is giving the answer. It will go back to the original. It was not there, and it was only the original on which you superimposed. Now when it is not there, just original will remain. So same way it says. And in the 8th verse, the golden jewelry is now again giving another example. Well, this fear goes away, we can understand, when we can understand the truth about that. The fear of a snake, okay, it can. Now, we are not afraid, but we are imagining something joyful on the elephant which is made of earth, the clay, and we are imagining the joy and getting the joy. I am just imagining. Similarly, we are imagining that I will become a father or a mother, and I will have a child, and I will give the education, and then the child will grow up, all imagining. Truly. And when we are imagining that slowly, we are, oh, what will happen to my family? Where was your family when you were not born? What will be happening if you are dying? Nothing. Everything will continue the same way. When you look at the family tree, the beginner, where is he? The person who started that family? Nowhere. But still it is continuing. And that person, he was thinking in so way, what will happen to my family? Even after that, nothing happening. So this is an example I am giving, but from the Vedantic point of view, it is nothing but consciousness. I am giving the example of the family tree, but there remain some people continuing. But what I wanted to say, the first person who imagined that I am the maker of this, where is he now? So that is the way it goes on. Not that one person who saw a snake on the rope that was lying on the road, and then he came out of that fear when he saw through a light, no, it is only a rope, not the snake. Now, one person is free from the fear. Another person on the same rope and the same way will see another snake. So, it is continuously there. So, what we should do, we should try to understand the futility of this, because it is constantly changing, and when it is changing, it is not permanent. And for me, when I am growing up, I see that is a doll for the baby who is still that young kid, and he or she is look at that doll as a living thing. Look at it. So this is called imaginative world. For the baby, it is one type of imagination. For the grown-up, it is another type of imagination. But ultimately, it is all imaginative. So that is, it says, Upadibhi aneka api tatha atma eka sarupataha. Now, another step Rishi is trying to give us to understand, that is, so many varieties are there. How can you say that they are all same? There are people who are dark color, then brown color, then yellow color, then white color, all human beings. Each and every one is having a father as a mother and the family, everything so common. They feel hungry, they feel thirsty, they feel joy in the company of the friends, they are afraid in association of the enemies. Everything same, only color different, names different, languages different, features are different because of the geographical changes. And we are separating them, isn't it? We are all separated. This is our country, that is your country, it is our religion, it is your religion. We go on talking, this is our culture, it is their culture. And so many, now very horrible war that we have experienced, the First World War and Second World War. World War. War was there, killing was there. And one individual king, he will go out and then capture a plot of land and then he'll be torturing those people. Why? To give comfort to his own people. Is it not imaginary? You are torturing some people, killing some people, looting some people, only to give comfort to your people who are your people. You are imagining that this is my country, this is my people, I should fight for them. You are only imagining. Everything is imagination. Everything. A person who was born, maybe, just to name, maybe in India, and when you were a one-day born baby, maybe adopted by American parents, and the child came over here, grew up over here, and schooling and every education here, he became the Americans, the citizen. Then he will stand against India if necessary. America and India were very good friends, but suppose, then imaginary, he was born over there, and then he started thinking that I am an American. The same way that an American may be an Indian, isn't it? So if it is like this, everything is imaginary, then the question is, are there so many differences? Are the different people, animals, trees, the birds, flowers, insects, all are different. Are they different? Then the Guru is telling in the 9th chapter, 8th verse, he is very clearly telling, it is only upadhi. Upadhi means the name and the form and nothing else. The upadhi means the certificate that you get from the now different type of things, MA, MBA, all these things they call upadhis, the certificates they get. Here the upadhi means that you are imagining a name and a form. And then you are imagining some qualities on that. Oh, he is a doctor and he is from America. He studied in Cambridge and all these things. It's all upadhi, going on imagining on that. Ultimately, what is he? A consciousness associated with the body and mind and nothing else. Then he is giving this, that as you see so many varieties of jewelries, the different names and different sizes and different designs, but in reality they are all gold ultimately. So different type of jewelries are there. So that those jewelries, and sometimes the ladies will use it on the ear and sometimes on the hand, on the finger. So many varieties are there. Names are there, and the costs are also different. But ultimately, it is all gold. And similarly, the different names, different form, different culture, different color, different religion, but the human being ultimately is nothing but the consciousness. And why human being? All beings are nothing but the consciousness. A bird and the human being both are ultimately the consciousness, though by feature different. So the name and form that we see is the different millions and millions of differences are there, but ultimately when we see it is nothing but one. That is exactly what the Vedanta teaches. Unity in diversity. It is not just out of emotion we are talking, no. Oh, we should be friends. When Swami Vivekananda came over here in Chicago in 1893, stood on the platform of Parliament of Religion, and when he first the word he uttered, like a pure Vedantin, he uttered sisters and brothers of America, as because he was standing in the America addressing the American audience. The sisters and brothers, how can be it is possible that he was an Indian, how the Americans can be his brother and sister? Because he felt the oneness of the Atman. And immediately, as because he was a great yogi, the word power that touched the heart of those who were there present, thousands of people, not one or two, thousands of them felt that immediately. That's called Shakti, Bhakya Shakti, Shabda Shakti, the power of that word. So the mantra Shakti, when the Guru is giving the mantra, apparently it is nothing but a name of God or Goddess. But that has the power, because that truth is embedded into that. If you have that conception, then the mantra, the word that you have received from your Guru, becomes so powerful. And if you don't understand that, it only remain a word. So similarly, when we see the differences, it is an ignorance. But when you understand that in differences it is only the Atman, in many, many different ways, the Vedantin will say that we see so many different clothings, but thread is there, that is the same. If the thread is not there, then there is no clothing. The Atman is there, so all the beings, though apparently is all different. In the 9th chapter, 9th verse, it says, Sharire abhayava yad yad vikarascha yatha mridaha advaitam dvaitavad bhati tatha sthabara jangamam. Sthabara and jangam. That means, it says, in human body there are so many limbs. Sharire abhayava yad yad. Hands are there, the legs are there, ears are there, nose is there, eyes are there. Abhayava. Abhayava in Sanskrit means the different limbs. When in the human body there are so many different limbs are there, but in total it is a body. And the varieties of things, many of them made out of clay, but they will be known as body or a clay. As though the hands are there, legs are there, but it will come, the people will say, he has a body, she has a body. And they are not separate. We know that the complete human body, that's all. So though the different limbs are there, but it is only one, from the clay there are so many varieties of the dolls will be there, but they are all belong to the same clay. Similarly, there may be varieties in the universe, but they are nothing but one without a second Brahman. Now friends, from here another conception that we can discuss, there is the Srishti Bhada. Srishti means creation. And this creation, as we are up to this that we have studied, that the Guru Vasishtha is giving us the teaching, though apparently you see so many varieties, in ultimately it is the one that is constantly, it is there and without any changes. Now the thing is creation. Is this creation that I am touching the table, touching the book, touching my body, these lights, everything are so different, names and form, everything are imaginative, imaginary. Are they not true? Now comes the Bhada. Bhada means the theory. What is the theory? The Vedantin will, particularly the Hindus will give the two theories of creation. One is Vivarta Bhada, another is Parinama Bhada. Vivarta and Parinama. What is that? Vivarta is the apparent change. It is not real change. And what is the Parinama? Is a real change. Some will support the real change, like the milk becoming yogurt, a real change. The yogurt can never become milk, but we have become jivas, we have become individual self, individual human being. But if we want understanding the truth and shading all these differences, go back to the truth that is Brahman, that is called Vivarta Bhada. So that it is possible because it is not real transformation like the milk to the yogurt. It is imaginative in transformation. We are thinking that this is this. So the Bibartavada, Shankaracharya and all other Vedantin, they are supporting, because we have to go back to the real. But if we have already changed in such a way that we cannot go back to the real, then why all this study? We are studying to understand the truth, the reality. Why? So that we can go back to that. And that is called Brahma Jnana. That is called God realization. If that is not possible, then it is all unnecessary. So two Vadas are there, two theories are there. The creation which is permanent and which is imaginary. We support the imaginary one. That is called Bibartavada. And in the Parinamavada, it cannot be that there are many reasons are there. So we are not going into that the discussion this today. So we will end up over here. If there is any question, we will try to answer.
Anupam is asking how to maintain persistency of Dhyan in our daily life.
Anupam, as because we are studying the jnana, that's the path of knowledge that we are trading, that there is no question of dhyana. Dhyana means meditation. That's a different aspect, that is a different, we can say, the path that the yogis they follow to reach to the goal. Anyway, there's the basic difference between the different paths. We have the path of knowledge, we have the path of yoga, we have the path of devotion. Now you are asking the question of meditation means, that means it is the path of yoga. The dhyana means concentrating a mind on one object, right? So consistency, to keep that consistency, not that constantly you have to sit in one place, closing your eyes and trying to concentrate that within your heart or some chakra. No, it is of course there, maybe for 1 hour or 2 hours or 3 hours, whatever. But when you are working, when you are traveling, when we are in the company of other people, at least sometime you should go back and you think, oh, this is the object that I have to concentrate. That is also consistency of the dhyana. Consistency of the dhyana. Thank you.
Devashish is asking how to deal with a person who often disturbs by offering lucrative offer. However, when we need help in the past from that person, he has refused badly. Why this is happening? What this person wants?
See, these are all the temptations of our life. A person wanted to, wants to give you something, so he is expecting something back from you. That's true. Now, your experience, that person, when you needed help, he didn't give. There may be reason at that time. He was not knowing about you. He was not having the thing that you wanted. There may be many reasons. But this is a very, very personal approach. And if you think that that particular person is not good for you and disturbing your mind, try to keep a distance, try to avoid. That much we can say over here. But it's a very, very personal problem. In reality, when those people who are trying to disturb our spiritual life, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said that you must shun their company, whoever they may be. That is, we must understand. Thank you.
The next question is he asking, before initiation, if one practices name, japa and meditation for a long time, then should he wait for a guru on that ishta, or it's only guru's wish about ishta?
So far I can understand your question, that you are already meditating on a particular god or goddess we call Ishta Devata or Devi, that means the chosen idol, and you are taking the name of that god or goddess and you were satisfied. If you were satisfied in that, no harm. See, ultimately it is the faith, it is the belief. And when you think it is, of course it is possible, but traditionally we have seen, including the characters, the personalities like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, Swami Vivekananda, all the Shankaracharya, all this tradition that teaches us that you must go and have a guru, and that person, how we will know that it is a guru? With doubt comes, because there are different varieties of people claiming themselves as the teachers. So naturally the doubt comes. How you can judge? That person who is not having any selfish motive and not having any the desire, his desire. So that is the love and unselfishness. If that is present in that person, you can accept him or her as the guru, and that helps. You can disclose that this is the idol that I am worshipping, this is the name I am worshipping. Maybe the guru will help you to give you the same thing. And what will happen? This particular person, the guru, he himself or she herself be practicing for a long time, that gives the association. So that is the power, as I was telling, the power of the mantra that comes. It is not only a word, but it is a power. Thank you.
Srima is asking why our natures are different being same source. We all come from the same source.
They're a very good question, Shima. They are different because of the karma. The Hindus again, they will say that because of the karma phala, because of the different type of thoughts and actions and we perform, we do, so that is why different type of things happen in our life.
Sanghamitra is asking if we try by all 4 yogas, can we reach Thakur? What is the meaning of এখানে যে আসবে তার শেষ জন্ম?
This is, that all the 4 paths that Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna himself practiced and introduced. Then Swami Vivekananda, the flag bearer of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he also carried, and then he also introduced that the total development will come by practicing all the 4 yogas. That was because the human temperament in different types, you know that, Sanghamitra, that in the human, sometimes they like to be calm and composed and like to meditate. Sometimes they are active, they like to help, and sometimes they are curious, they like to know, and sometimes they are very devoted, so they like to worship. So all the 4 different moods, if we are utilizing, that is a wonderful way. The combination of the 4 yogas takes us to the goal. Then ultimately, as you have mentioned, whoever will come to me, as Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said, whoever will come to me will get the liberation, mukti. Shesh Janma means he is not or she is not going to be again in the circle of birth and death. The Shesh Janma, this is the last birth, and you will be free, mukti. Now the Krishna is also telling, Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam braja. The Jesus is also, in the Bible he says, come to me, give all burden to me and be. So like that everyone is saying, come to me. Is it the same way Sri Ramakrishna is telling? This me means the ideology. What is the ideology of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna? It's not the person but the ideology. Ideology of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is love and unselfishness. Thank you.
Shanti Gurumurti is asking, when is Vasana and Karma operational in our earthly life?
I couldn't get it.
So, when is Vasana and Karma operational in our earthly
Life.
Life. That's it. Question mark.
Oh, this is the question? Now, Shanti ji, actually, if you are asking when it gets activated. So that we are taking different forms and taking the birth because of our vasanas, that's our desires. To fulfill our desire only we take different birth. And the moment we take birth, it gets activated. But we can find, we can see that truly it manifests, as they say, when the personality grow up to 15, 16 years. So then only we can see the differences. Two brothers of the same parents and same growing up. But when they grow up to 15, 16, we see the different characteristics in two different brothers. So there we can say their original karma phala is manifesting now. If your question is this, I can say that when they are growing up to that I sense is strong, the ego becomes strong, then obviously they open up their own bag and then start using the result of the karma phala that they acquired in the last birth. So that is them. So thank you friends for asking this question, and thank you for listening so carefully. So now let us conclude by saying Shanti 3 times. Om Shanti, 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat.